Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. This is class number 3. Today we're going to be going over collision domains and broadcast domains, what they are, why we use them, and how to implement them. For our first example, we'll be talking about hubs. These are devices that we don't really use anymore. Switches are really cheap now, so we graduated from hubs to switches at this point. And hubs had no intelligence in the box, right? They were just a way to connect a bunch of computers together so that we could share information. So when you put data onto the network using a hub, if someone else put data on the network at the same time, you can end up with collisions on your network, which would damage the data and it wouldn't get received properly by the receiving computer. As you can tell, it's like if you had 1,000 or 2,000 computers and you were connected with hubs, you have a lot of damaged data, a lot of miscommunication. It's just not great for a network. It just doesn't work very well for a network at all. A hub creates one collision domain. So if you have 2,000 computers connected with hubs, you've got all this data going around. It's all colliding with all the other data. So what we did from there, that one collision domain, we graduated to switches. So switches are awesome because they essentially create one collision domain for every port on the switch. So you can connect 2,000 computers together, and each computer, when it sends a message, it'll go to the switch, which has intelligence. The switch will sort of manage the data. So a switch will receive the message, send it out directly to the computer that it needs to go to without bothering any of the other machines. And also, if it receives 2 messages at the same time, it can manage the data and send one after the other. And so you don't end up with collisions, which is awesome. So in this case, you can connect 2,000 computers together. Each port on the switch is a different collision domain. So essentially, you could have 2,000 different collision domains. So you're sending data much more efficiently. You're not having all of these collisions happen, and things are working really nicely. So hopefully now you can see why collision domains are important and what they are. So a hub creates one collision domain. You have tons of collisions, not good. A switch creates a collision domain for each port on the switch. So now you have many more collision domains, way less collisions. So that's what collision domains are. And that's why we use switches now. Okay, now we're going to talk about broadcast domains. These things are really simple to understand. Sometimes computers send a special type of message called a broadcast. This broadcast message will actually hit your switch and go to all the computers on the network inside of that one broadcast domain. If you want to break up broadcast domains, that's what routers do. Say you're in an office building, you have, 4,000 computers, 4,000 computers in this building, right? So you don't really want to connect 4,000 computers together using switches. So if you connect all 4,000 computers together, you won't really have so many problems with collisions, but you might have problems with bandwidth because you've got 4,000 computers sending messages all over the network. It could slow down communications on your network because your switch is going to have to work really hard to sort of send all the data back and forth to each computer. You just have a lot of computers. So what you can do using a router or a layer 3 switch, which does routing, is you can create subnetworks. So instead of having 4,000 computers on the same broadcast domain, you can create your subnetworks. So you can say there's 4 different departments in your office building. You can put 1,000 computers in each department, and each of those departments have a different broadcast domain. So you would subnet those 4 networks out, and now you've only got 1,000 computers on each broadcast domain, which is great because if the marketing department sends out a broadcast message, it's not going to go to every computer, all 4,000 computers in the office building. It's only going to go to that department's broadcast domain, essentially. So now you're cutting down on communication throughout the building, which is going to be really great for bandwidth. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to understand these 2 concepts and what they are. A collision domain, right? Switches break up collision domains. And for broadcast domains, routers break up broadcast domains. Also, layer 3 switches break up broadcast domains. Layer 3 switches essentially do routing. All right, so that's some basics of how the internet works. Let's just say all of our computers were connected with hubs. The entire internet, all of our computers are connected with hubs. Can you imagine how many collisions and how chaotic that network would be? It'd be chaos. And then if you could imagine connecting all of our computers on the entire internet together, like my house connected to my next door neighbor's house, everyone's house is connected throughout the entire world, all connected with switches. It just wouldn't work very well because if someone sent out a broadcast, it would go to the entire internet. Everyone's computers would receive this broadcast message, right? So that's chaos, way too much bandwidth used. It would probably just be chaos. It wouldn't work. All right. So essentially, that's how the internet works. When you sign up to your internet service, they send you a box in the mail with a router. And this router is what you plug into the internet, right? This is how you connect to the internet. And we're doing that because we need to break up the broadcast domain. So when I send a broadcast message from one of my computers, it only hits the other computers in my small little network in my house. It doesn't go to the internet and cause chaos. So that's why we all receive routers when we sign up for the internet. That box in your house is a router, and that's how it works. So I hope that helps. You understand how the internet works, what broadcast domains are, what collision domains are, and I'll see you on the next video.